Well, we spent a lot of time talking about the ATS, and the plans are still out there and available for sale. Thank you everyone who's purchased them. Well, it's a big decision today. I can't get the TRITON chemicals, so I'm thinking about switching to AQUAFOREST or potentially a calcium reactor, so stay tuned. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button, like us on Facebook, and we sure appreciate all your support. So stay tuned and we'll get right to it here. Okay folks, I got the AQUAFOREST. At least I'm assuming that's what this is. It's this box weighs a lot. I mean, what does it say here? I don't know, it's gotta be, doesn't say. Maybe it does. Oh, 41 pounds. I was gonna say it's gotta be 40 pounds at least. But here's what it is. I love these things, you know? Yeah! Anyway, what do we got here? We are going to the Reefapalooza. Yeah. Oh, God! That's kind of cool though. It weighs a lot. Holy cow, let's see what's in this thing. What do we got here? What is... There's a lot of talk on here in other languages besides English. There's a little section this big on English. Okay. So basically, when passion matters, I'm passionate. There we go. You just, I'm going to drill a hole in there and hook it up to the dosing. Cool. This is a cool system. So, anyways, let's take it downstairs and check it out. Get rid of this box later. To the fun stuff. So, I bought this AQUAFOREST here. And it's, you know, it's pretty impressive box of stuff here. It comes open like that, and you can see, you know, they give you 3 jugs of their components. You could drill the top here and you know, hook it up to your dosing pumps. You know, it's actually a pretty good system, but I started looking at some other methods, and I bought a used calcium reactor. So I got the tank, and I got the CO2 tank is full, along with the valve with the solenoid. I got the arm put in there, plus I got a bucket full of used stuff. I got a new Eheim pump, and I've got this Coralin calcium reactor. I got it used from a guy. I had a really good deal on it, and now I'm thinking, hey, no more paying for dosing chemicals. I could just do this. So the equipment inspector here, you know, he or she, I should say, this is Trixie. She has seen it, and she says, you know, hey, it passes the sniff test, and she won't go near that AQUAFOREST stuff. So I think, you know, we'll give this a try, and so stay tuned, we'll get it set up. You know, I've loved the way my tanks look with the TRITON method, but, you know, I'm cranking through chemicals pretty fast to where I'd have to buy, you know, more of the big jugs every 2 months or so, which is expensive. And not to mention the fact that bulk reef supply has been out almost all the time. So at their suggestion, I thought I'd try the AQUAFOREST, but then this calcium reactor came up, and it was pretty inexpensive. So I thought, well, you know, maybe I can get rid of the chemicals and do something a little bit more natural. And also, you know, I know it's not the best calcium reactor in the world, but
I just thought I'd give it a try and see how this works versus, you know, dosing chemicals in there on a constant basis. I will say this, the amount that I'm dosing with I was dosing with the Triton is about double of what I was doing with the BRS chemicals. So I don't think that's very potent calcium and alkalinity, at least. So we'll give this a try. So the way this works is the EHEIM pump on top chops the CO2 bubble and then just circulates from the bottom to the top of the reactor, constant circulation. There's also a MJ400 pump that just brings water into the reactor, and then I set the drip on the output going into the tank. I used a pH probe and ran it through my Apex, which controls the solenoid on the CO2. So I just want to talk a little bit about the Apex system and how I hooked up this calcium reactor, and really, you know, just how you adjust calcium reactors in the first place. So this is, I'm comparing right here, this is just a 1 hour comparison of what's going on in that calcium reactor. There's a pH probe that's connected to my Apex head unit, and there's and so you can see the calcium pH there is the orange data, and you can see it's going up to exactly 6.59 it looks like, and then dropping down to 6.5, and so the solenoid is turning on and off. This is the solenoid here, just turning on and off. So when it gets to 6.5, it shuts off, and then it drifts back, the pH drifts back up to 6.6, and it turns back on again. I don't see any need for having any kind of a fancy solenoid on a calcium reactor if you've got an Apex system, because you can do it all right here, and I'll show you how I did it. First, I just want to take you, since I've got this chart open, I just want to show you you know, some older data here. So now we're going back. This is you know, earlier today and yesterday, and you can see how it was just kind of flatlining there. I'll go back even further here. I'll just kind of show you. I've been having a lot of troubles, and you know, part of it was real stable, like you just saw, for quite a while, and then, you know, all of a sudden the thing kind of started going wacky, and I could not figure out what was going on. But you can see my pH here is just going up and down like crazy, and you know, all the way up to 6.64, and you know, and there's really no rhyme or reason what was going on. And so after having this happen for quite some time, so you can see during that time it looked like the solenoid was in the on position, and it was just going all over the place. And so then here it is, it shut off because it reached 7. Oh my gosh, you know. And then here it is going down. I'm like, what is going on? And what I figured out is that, and then here is leveled out again. What I figured that was going on is that the solenoid itself was bad on my regulator. So I just replaced it. I put a Milwaukee solenoid on there, it fit right on there, perfect, and we're back to having it pretty darn stable. And what I do when you know, when I'm trying to adjust this thing, I kind of know I need the effluent to come out at about 2 drops per second. So there's about 120 drops per minute. It's almost to the point where it's a stream. And so what I do is I put that to where I know it needs to be to give me the calcium that I need. And I don't really think that it's not so hard to adjust the bubble rate, because you just basically you need enough bubbles to have that thing turning on and off in a reasonable amount of time. So you can see mine, I'll just go to the 1 hour mode here. And you can see, you know, it's about on a, you know, 10 minutes off, 10 minutes on cycle. So, you know, that's not much of a waiver for this thing. Actually, it looks like about 8 minutes on and a little over 10, maybe 14 minutes off. But there's really not much of a, you know, difference then in the pH in my calcium reactor when you're running it this way. You know, this solenoid's completely taking care of it. So the trick is I had to just get the pH to where you can see kind of, here's me trying to get it adjusted. So way back up over here is where I installed the new solenoid, and then you can see that, you know, right away it's going down, 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 but I could not, and then I flatlined. And that was because I just sort of, you know, I set it and let it keep on going. Here's another spot where I adjusted a little, and I kept adjusting a little and adjusting it a little, and basically I was turning up the bubble rate to bring the pH down in that reactor, because you'd like it to be at 6.5 most of the time. So here it just flatlined. So at this point I think I had let's see, I had about a bubble per every 3 seconds. And so boom, 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 it just sort of leveled out at 6.55. Well, actually, what is that? Yeah, 6.55. And then I turned it down a little bit more, and you know, then it was about a bubble every 2.5 seconds. And you know, it's still only 6.54. So then I turned it down a little bit more, and it got down to 6.53. These little blips were me fiddling with it. And then I turned it down a little bit, just a slightly more than that. And I'll just move this over. And you can see it just kind of dropped it right down to where I needed it at 6.5. Actually went a little bit too far in a few of those. But that's okay. You know, that's within the tolerance of this thing. And so we're getting 6.5 to 6.6 pH, and the solenoid's turning on and off, you know, on a 10 minute, 14 minute cycle. So it's pretty good. And it's looking like it's all leveled out here. So I can do some measurements now. And if I have the pH too high, here's the room downstairs. I've got a camera down there. But anyways, if I have the pH too high, if the calcium measures too high, it's coming up and it's not leveling out, then I can just turn the effluent down. If the alkalinity is too low, I can adjust the bubble rate. So, you know, I can fiddle with these two things to get it to the point where the alkalinity and the calcium is where I need them. And once I've got it leveled out, everything should just stay there. But at this point, my goal is to let it stabilize for a few days and make sure that the pH is at the right spot, so that that calcium reactor is starting to produce calcium. It takes a while for that to melt in there. You know, basically what you're doing is you're melting that media. So you can see here's my calcium reactor working away. The lights are out in the room, but at any rate. So I'll just show you the programming quickly, and you can stop the video and copy this or whatever you need to do. But I'll show you the programming here. I'm still dosing just a very small amount of alkalinity right now. 5 seconds every 30 minutes. Not a lot, but you know, I'm just having trouble keeping the pH up, and so I'm just, I'm leaving that on for a little while here. So here's everything calcium reactor over here. So you can see I've got one on the effluent, which is a MJ400 power head that's just plumbed into this thing. And the effluent, if the feeder comes on, the effluent is going to shut off. If the effluent shuts off, everything shuts off. If the main pump shuts off, the effluent and everything else is going to shut off. So you can see the effluent is based on the feeder and the main pump being on, and that's really all I'm doing with that one. The recirculation is based on the effluent being on. So if the effluent turns off, then the recirculation pump, the one that does the chopping of the bubbles on top, the EHEIM, shuts off as well. And again, I really probably didn't need to do this, but I put if feed A is going, then have it go off. And let's see. Then the other one is the solenoid here, and the solenoid, if the calcium pH is greater than 6.6, turn on. If it's less than 6.5, then turn it off. So you can see that's why we have the waveforms that we just saw a couple minutes ago. And I've got the log enabled here so that I can look at the two waveforms, the pH being that pH probe that I have in there, and the other one being the logging of the solenoid turning on and off. So here's my pH probe that's up in the overflow in the tank, and then here's the pH in the calcium reactor, and that's right in the reactor. So interesting side note, I use the ORP connection on the Apex to connect this extra pH probe. Works beautiful. It's made to do it. You just need to switch it from ORP to pH, and I hit the wrong thing there, sorry. So let's see, settings, and you can see this used to be the ORP probe, and all you do is just, you can just rename it and then set it up as a pH probe, and it doesn't take much to do it. You can just, I forget exactly what I had to do, but it was fairly easy to do, and then there's some calibration along with that. If you look on the Apex site, you will see lots of people telling you how to calibrate probes and do all of that, so I'm not going to go through all of that, but I just thought it was an interesting side note. You don't need to buy a separate PM module or anything like that. Just go ahead and hook it up to the ORP connection on your Apex, and you can use it as a pH probe with your calcium reactor. So that's about it. So what do you think, Trixie? The TRITON method versus AQUAFOREST versus calcium reactor. I mean, what a pain in the rear, huh? No? Okay, well, you saw it. The lab inspector says to keep testing and keep tweaking until I get it right here. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully that helped. Boy, that dog is tough on me, man. Hey, thanks for watching Cyclone Reef. Please hit the subscribe button, like our video. We'll see you next time.